Hello, Barbara Bass here again. So, yeah, I'm just going to finish up where I left off yesterday and it'll be short and quick. So, we're going to be talking about Proverbs 31:30. I already mentioned it, but we're going to really talk about that a little bit further, okay? But before we get into that, just in case if I didn't get to say or make these points yesterday, I'll just say them right now because they're in my notes. Don't force anyone to see you how God sees you. That's something that's natural. Like you ask God for that ability to see others how God sees them, and you'll see the beauty in everyone. Because God is not God's desire for any of us to go to hell. He wants all of us to go to heaven. And so, even though you may have enemies, because God is the creator of everyone, He loves all of us. So He doesn't want to see any of us. He has so much love. He doesn't want to see any of us go to hell. If we end up going to hell, it's because we rejected God, which we're not going to do, right? Okay. So you don't have to force anyone to try to see the beauty in you. You don't force your way on people. If you like someone and they don't like you back, it's because it's not in them to like you. And it's also because that rejection from them is probably protection from something bad happening to you from dealing with that person. So if it's just not in there, it's like don't force it. Just find someone who likes you. You hear older people telling you that all the time. Like find someone who likes you. Don't try to make someone force someone to like you or get with the program. If it's not natural, just you don't want it. It's going to cause you problems down the line. Like as soon as you see a person isn't really showing interest, you need to start trying to make your exit because it's dangerous staying with people like that. But yeah, don't force anyone to see you. If they didn't see you the first time or whatever, and it was bad timing, it's never going to be the right timing. If they didn't see you back then, they're not going to see you later. If they start seeing you later, it's probably because they're trying to get something out of you. So be careful about that. But just don't do anything that's forcing it, making it go against the grain. Like if it's not natural, it was never there. All right. Um, be exclusive, and remain special. Like everyone is not for you. You're not for everyone. So it's not meant for everyone to see you in that way. It's not meant for everyone to give you favor and anointing. Some people, they're dangerous for you to be around. So when they're rejecting you, it's because it's something in you that they don't have. And so don't try to push it. Because when you start to try to push and force relationships or force someone to see you the way that you would want God to see you, or to like be attracted to you, be attracted to your beauty and forcing it, that's when you get like that Jezebel spirit. And if you don't know what that is, you need to look it up, or maybe I'll do a video on it later. Just ask questions in the comments, and I'll do videos on the questions you guys ask. But yeah, Jezebel's spirit is very manipulative and controlling spirit, and kind of like I don't know, it's just a very before. It's just a very derogatory term when someone says that you're like a Jezebel. Being like a Jezebel is not a good thing. Okay, so you don't want to have that spirit on you, and when you deal with people who are only using you, manipulating you, and they don't really appreciate your beauty and like the real beauty in you, or they're making you feel bad about how you look, they can't appreciate you. That's how you end up getting burned. Like for real, by demons. They from hell. They're hot. So they love to burn people. So you need to not force situations with people. If God is telling you it's not natural, don't force it. All right. Um, demons, I think I mentioned this before in another video, they're ugly. And so since they're ugly, their part of their mission is to make us ugly. So you've heard stories about very beautiful women and people being jealous and throwing things on their face. I will tell you all about a story eventually one day about a person who said that they were going to maim my face. That's what jealousy will do to you. Okay, when you're that jealous of someone's beauty, it will cause you to want to maim their face. All right. Um, and that's usually when you're with someone who's is forcing it. Maybe you look too good for them. or vice versa, but don't force it, because you can end up in situations like we talked about in the first video with Abram and Sarai, okay, from the Bible. Where you be having to lie, and it's just if you just really pay attention to this, the point of today's lesson is that there's only one thing that God is really looking for that's gonna like put you on the map for real. We'll go over that, because the things that people are thinking that it is not the things that God is looking for. All right, it has nothing to do with beauty, first of all, and it has nothing to do with charm either, and that's what the Proverbs verse is talking about. So let's just get into that. Yeah, just be careful, because the fact that demons are so ugly and they want to destroy us, they want us to destroy ourselves, through plastic surgeries, tattoos, coloring our eyes, wearing colored contacts, basically just hiding the way that God naturally created us. That's the demon's plan, is to get you to not look like the same person that God created you to be. All right. He wants you to be wearing like big, get those big holes, those big piercings and implant horns and just weird stuff that people do to their body that destroys their body. They want you to look ugly like them. So I just want you to get that in your head. Tattoos, piercings, and all these different things, they were never supposed to be seen as art. I'm not going to say not supposed to be seen as art, because I can't say that. But what I'm saying is the way that demons try to portray it like it's art, like it's something beauty, you're really just in a reprobated state and you're destroying your body. Okay? With tattoos and just big gaping holes in your body, in your ears, just implant. Come on, man. Plastic surgeries, no. Clean people, they're going to reject those type of looks. Like, they're not going to want a whole bunch of piercings. They're not going to want a whole bunch of tattoos. People who are kind of like in professional fields, or people who are like Christians, they don't, they reject the people that look that way. That's why people who look that way are always saying, oh, you're judging me. And it's like, no one's judging you. It's just that from a Christian standpoint, because we know what those things are that you're doing to yourself, it allows us to see just how many demons you actually have. Like, what reprobated state are you actually have to have done all that to your body? We could tell you kind of been through some things with some demons, because what state of mind made you go and do all that to your body? Because it wasn't your natural state. It was something that you learned, or you got to look at the psychology of why people get a whole bunch they tattoo their whole body to the point where they tattoo the white part of their eyeball, and they get the horn implants and they want to look like a demon. That's not normal. Okay? So more than likely that person's in a reprobated state when they're making these decisions to draw these squiggly lines and the cheetah prints with the squares and the skulls and just different demonic symbols on your body. God didn't create you to want that on your body. Something else did. So, and people can say they're creative all you want, but I'm just saying, a person that knows about this and has read their Bible and they have a relationship with God and they know about this, when they see a person who has gone through these things, they think, okay, maybe this person hasn't been exposed to this information yet, or this person has seriously been under some type of oppression of some type of negative spirits, and that's why they've done this to themselves. But only a person who has discernment, who has this type of knowledge, who has this type of mind, would be able to pinpoint that. It's not considered judgment, though. Just because you call out someone's sins, or you notice someone's sins, and you can say like, hey, that person probably shouldn't have did that. That wasn't a good decision. Just because you can acknowledge something that wasn't a good decision does not mean that you're being judgmental. So don't let nobody tell you that. You just have good judgment. And God calls us to have good judgment and good discernment. Because people do judge, even though they try to say that they don't. When it comes to you having children and protecting your children, are you going to let your children go around a person that you know is attracted to children? Are you now considered a judgmental person because you won't allow your children to be around those type of people that you know are attracted to children? No. So that's what I'm saying. Just because you're calling out something doesn't mean that you're being judgmental. All right? You're just calling out what God tell you to look at and notice, to be aware of. All right? So these signs and these symbols on people expose kind of like who they are and what they've been through. All right? Don't let these demons convince you and alter your being. Don't let them convince you to alter yourself and alter your being and stuff. Proverbs 31:30. Let's see. It says, charm is deceitful and beauty is vain, but a woman who fears the Lord is to be praised. And there it is. There it is. There's that secret I was telling you about. The thing that the Lord is looking for is not the most beautiful person, the most charming, the sweetest person. He's not looking for that. He is looking for the person who fears him, because that is what's going to expose what kind of heart you have. If God knows that if he gave you $1 million that you wouldn't share it with not one person, especially not even your own children, why would he give you the $1 million? You see what I'm saying? But if God knows that you have reverence, like you fear God, you fear, you want to help others, he might trust you with that amount of money because he knows what you're gonna do with it. He knows your heart for real. So charm is deceitful, beauty is vain, but the woman who fears the Lord is to be praised. Okay? Meaning that the woman with the fear of the Lord, not charm, not beauty, but the one who has the fear of the Lord is the one who will excel in life. That's the one who's going the furthest. If you look at people's lives and you wondering like how they got that far, it's because of the fear of the Lord. Okay? There's other people who get far in life, and it's because negative entities are giving them these things, these riches and materialistic things, because remember, Satan is the ruler of materialistic world. So he can give you fame, fortune, and things like that. And it may appear that you're being blessed, but the whole time you're actually being tricked and getting closer and closer to your death. But we're not going to get into that. It's the one who fears the Lord that is going to excel the furthest. Beautiful women can excel at a cost. With Satan, with a Jezebel spirit, you can excel, but it's at a cost. It says, there's a scripture in the Bible that says that when God gives you something, it doesn't bring sorrow to you. That's not the exact words, but it's something like that. Like, God does not bring extra sorrow when he brings you something. So if the fame and fortune is coming with sorrow, that's the number one way that you know it wasn't from God. All right. Yeah, people go through things and life be lifing, but there's a difference. There's a heavier difference. Okay? And you'll know once you're in it. Yeah. Just be careful, because sometimes people can look like they're excelling, but they're not excelling. It just appears that they are. And in the end, it ends up leading to a failure. Having fear of the Lord is wisdom. And the best character trait that you can have, which is even better than having a skill or a talent, is just being fearful of the Lord. Which means like living a virtuous lifestyle, like checking with the Lord in everything that you do first, so that you make sure that you are always the one that's blameless, like the Willy Wonka video that I talked about. Go look at the Willy Wonka video that I put out. Being blameless. All right. Fear of God brings you to the forefront of all the other things that you could have going for yourself, like beauty, skills, and talent. Fear of the Lord is going to bring you to the forefront as far as like favor and anointing with God. He wants to see how much you are really like going to be obedient to him. And part of, showing your fear for him is being obedient. As soon as he tells you to do something, you're doing it because you're afraid, or because you want to be right in good standing with God. This is why the shoe only fit Cinderella. Godliness comes first. Yeah, so I put that because Cinderella was the only one who could fit that shoe, meaning what we said earlier. Nothing was forced. Nothing was forced. So whatever's for you is for you. It's going to only fit you. No one else is going to be able to force their way in. Like, y'all know that Little Mermaid video, how that fake bootleg Little Mermaid came and tried to fake her way in, and it didn't. It never works. Manipulation never works. That's why I'm trying to tell you, go to God about anything that you're having trouble with. If you want to increase your beauty in some way, you got to go to God for things like that, because God is the one. Even if he never does increase your beauty, he's going to give you the comfort to feel comfortable and complacent in where you're already at. He'll highlight the beauty that you didn't see in yourself. Like, you gotta go to God. That's just using wisdom. You cannot be doing beauty spells. You're gonna end up looking like a frog. Take it from the video I told you about yesterday, how I started looking. You don't want to be looking like that. Alright? The children of God are very attractive. Like, we have something about us that's attractive. Even if we are what society standards would consider the ugliest person in the world, it's something about us, it's some element to us that's still beautiful, because it's the God in us. So the children of God are very attractive. They're very beautiful. They're very fine. They're very attractive. Okay, like as soon as you see them, you're like, whoa, double take. Who's that? That's how the children of God are, because of our fear of the Lord and our obedience. We don't care about letting God be in control. We don't have a Jezebel spirit where we don't like authority and we trying to be the head of everything and in control. God, he knows everything from beginning to end about our lives. He knows everything that we're going to do before we do it. So if God knows everything that we're going to do, when he created us, he already knew what type of person we was going to be. He already knew what level of rejection we would give towards him. He already knew what level of rebellion we would be towards him. So he could just he could disperse our beauty accordingly. Even in like people who have like in the middle of their life, they just have like a tragic accident. That could be like where God changed his mind. Like he thought you was going to go one way and then you didn't. And then your face got maimed for real in some kind of freak accident or something like that. It's because God is the one who's in control of our beauty. So people be switching up. Like if God had it to where he, well, no, let me not even say that, because that would mean that God didn't know, and God does know. God knows. So I feel like God disperses our beauty based on the level of acceptance and rejection that we give to him. If he knows that you're very accepting, why wouldn't he sprinkle a little bit more beauty on you when he's creating you? Because he knows you're a listener, and he knows you're his child. So of course his beauty is going to spill over more into you, because you are less likely to be rebellious toward him. You see what I'm saying? Children of God, we have like a big heart. We be feeling bad about stuff that don't even be our fault. That be the beauty in us coming out, like, and you see it on us. It's hard to explain. But anyway, being that God knows everything, he knew what level of what rejection you was going to give to him. He already knew. So I feel like if he knew you was going to just be heavily into witchcraft and just an evil person, he probably made you not that attractive. Unless, because I feel like your level of beauty and attractiveness is, I think we talked about it yesterday, but it's based on different things. It's based on like your assignment, your purpose. So if your purpose or assignment has something to do with you needing to not be in the spotlight, and you have to look a certain way so you're not in the spotlight, then that is what it is. It has nothing to do with what he knew you might do, or what he knew you might end up being. But this is not biblical. Not that I know of. This is just my opinion from what I feel like I've been shown throughout my life. Like when I look at really, really beautiful, I'm just beautiful. Like as soon as you look at them, like, whoa, you're a very beautiful person. Or you're a very attractive man. You're a very attractive woman. Those type of people, they usually be children of God. They are usually children of God. I don't know how else to say it. Um, and I think it has to do with God knowing that we would be obedient to Him during our lives, which is why He made us that way. And then there's some people where I feel like God made them very, very beautiful because He knew that they wouldn't have much time on earth. Like, the oldest that they would be here was like to 21, 24 or something like that. So He gave them beauty or whatever because He knew they wouldn't last that long. They not last, but they wouldn't, their presence on earth wouldn't be that long. So it's like, all right, let me give them beauty, whatever, like Aaliyah, Selena. All right. Um, but once again, that had to do with their purpose. That had to do with their assignment here on earth. Okay. So God is the one who knows everything from beginning to end. So you must complete His puzzle. Each of us are like a piece of a puzzle. So you must complete the puzzle. So you have to be who you are. You don't want to be trying to change who you are. Right now, I'm talking to you about how to apply this message to your life. Don't be going out here trying to change how you physically look, because more than likely, if you don't like how you physically look, it's not you inside of you that doesn't like how you look. It's a presence that's on you that's making you not like how you look. It's making you hate your own appearance. It's something that's in you that's doing that. It's something that's in you or on you that's trying to make you knit and pick at your own face and make you have all these sores and acne bumps and stuff. Constantly picking, constantly biting your nails until they're short and to the brim. Destroying how you look instead of taking care of your beauty. Cleanliness is next to godliness. Remember that. So be careful with the levels of rejection that you throw towards your creator and the level of witchcraft. And like we said yesterday, witchcraft is not just seances, lighting candles in the dark. It's manipulation. It's white collar crime. It can be a corrupt dentist, a corrupt doctor, a corrupt cop. It can be anyone who's hiding behind, oh, I'm corrupted, but I'm just doing my job. Okay? All of that, I feel like, has something to do with that 3.14 pi and being closer to God's fingerprint. And the further or the more corrupt away, the more corrupt you are, the worse you start looking. Like angels, I seen a depiction of angels having that halo circle around their head, and then how when they go against God, the halo breaks and it forms two horns instead. So instead of it making a circle over the head, it breaks and forms two horns, and that's why they're ugly. Like that's why that's where the whole theme of demons having horns came from, because their halo breaks. I'm not sure if that's true or whatever, but I'm just saying it was an interesting thing to see how they are ugly. They are physically ugly, but they used to be very beautiful. So you already know what they want for us. So just stay away from that. Try to be obedient to what God is telling you to do. Always try to do the right thing. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. The ultimate beholder is the Lord. And beautiful, He's beautiful in His own being. The Lord is beautiful in His own being. Thus we are too, because God is in us. Ask yourself, what are your reasons for wanting to be more attractive or more beautiful? What will you gain other than making yourself a bigger target of jealousy and hate? Like, what's the real purpose for wanting beauty or whatever? Because beauty is different to everyone, what beauty is. But remember, the Lord is looking for people who are fearful of Him. And I feel like that's the cheat code to getting the beauty. But ain't no cheat code, but it's up to God. But God knows our desires, and He knows what level of beauty we have, because there's stories in the Bible that show that. All right, there's stories about two sisters who had to share a man, and one was way more better looking than the other one. But she is the one who was better looking, was also barren. She couldn't really have children like that. I think she was able to have one or two. I don't even think I don't know. I got to look back at it. But she did have a child, but it took her a long time, and she died at a young age. So beauty is not everything. Okay? We talked about the troubles that beauty can bring with Abram and Sarai and that whole situation. But be mindful of what you want to gain and what your intentions are when you're trying to ask for what you're asking for from God, okay? If anything, you should be asking God to highlight the beauty that you already have, not for a surgery to go well, for God to bless you through a plastic surgery that has nothing to do with your health. You just want it for vain reasons, okay? Um, Ask God to bring you closer to the people who see the beauty in you, who are attracted to what you already possess. As far as beauty and the level of attraction that you want. Ask God to bring people to you who will see the favor and see the anointing in you. That's the beauty in you. The fear of God. That is the beauty right there. Um, we did talk about married couples, and maybe your husband might not be paying much attention to you and you just feel like you're not beautiful. Ask God to correct that, because maybe you are very beautiful, but it's just life is life right now with the husband. All right. um I'm trying to give ways to apply this for everybody, because everybody's different. Children, I don't know, I don't think this video is for children, but if there's anyone who's young people watching this, I don't think so, but if you are, be natural. Always try to strive to be natural. Be happy with what you have. Don't go out here trying to hurt yourself trying to be a beautiful person and end up deformed or looking crazy. Okay. um be yourself. Examine really for real why you want what you want from God, all right, before you ask for it. And get what's for you by being you. Do not change how you look. It's okay to enhance yourself, but just love yourself and be who God wanted you to be. Everybody's looking the same. And a person who is anointed by God, a real child of God, like a person that you would really, really want, they're looking for a person who's different. They're not looking for a person who looks like everybody else. So it's actually a good thing to be unique and beautiful in your own way with your own features. This message has been a repeat of lots of things. I'm wrapping it up. It's longer than the others, but it is what it is. Like, share, subscribe if you want. Bye.